An article surfaced recently in the Washington Times, which allegedly what states that you have the Nation of Islam has been said not to be a true Islamic or true to the Islamic faith. Um, do you know what the source of that was beyond the Washington Times?
Well, from what I understand, and this has come to me bits and pieces, there are blacks in the desert. As you know, brother, we didn't join any army because we want to fight people, but decent young black men joined the armed forces to be all that they could never be in the society because the armed forces offered them a job and offered them security and offered them a way to support their families. So many black men and women have joined the armed forces. Well, now that they have joined the armed forces of the United States and are deployed in these various theaters for war, many of them have heard the teachings of Islam as taught by Minister Louis Farrakhan. And point number 10 of what the Muslims believe, which has appeared on the back page of Muhammad Speaks for many, many years, and now on the back page of the Final Call, it says, we who have declared ourselves to be righteous Muslims will not take part in war, which takes the lives, do not believe, rather, that we should be forced to take part in war which take the lives of human beings. Well, many of these young men that are in that desert have refused to take up arms as Muslims to fight against brother Muslims. And this is happening at such a great pace, and it was so alarming that the Saudi Gazette, as I understand it, which is the official government newspaper, wrote an editorial condemning those who follow the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Louis Farrakhan as not being true Muslims. And of course, I have warned in my own way the religious scholars to take the robes of Allah off, because they are not sufficient to judge who is and who is not. For many of them right now are being judged by their own brothers as not being true Muslims. And so I don't like to get into that kind of discussion. I am a Muslim not because Mecca said so or Pakistan said so. I am a Muslim because God has created me in the nature of Islam, which is to submit my will to do the will of God. And I believe I'm doing the will of God more than most of those sanctimonious hypocrites who would want to call me a non-Muslim. I put my faith in God, and in God alone do I put my trust. I fear only God, and to Him alone do I submit and seek refuge. So I am the most outspoken Muslim on earth today for the justice of my people. Now, you can call that whatever you want to, but I will let nobody in Mecca, Medina, or any other holy or unholy spot tell me who or what I am. I am the best knower of who I am next to God. And I believe if God spoke, He would tell you I'm one of the best Muslims on the earth.
Do you think that the fact that you've spoken out against the corrupt practices of some of the Muslim leaders, particularly in Saudi Arabia, that this could be the source of this attack on the nation of Islam?
I have not attacked any Muslim leader in Saudi Arabia, but I speak truth. When I spoke to the ulama in Baghdad, I didn't take the line that the other Muslim leaders took, condemning Western influence, condemning the Zionists, and condemning this and that as the reason for the problems of the Muslim world. I took it straight to them in these words. I said, my dear brothers, the problem of the Muslim world is not Zionism. The problem of the Muslim world is not Western influence. The problem of the Muslim world began when we deviated from from the path of Prophet Muhammad that he put the Nation of Islam on 1400 years ago. That inward corruption is what started the decline of the world of Islam. And then other forces took advantage of it, but the problem started within ourselves. The ulama did not scorn me, they did not rebuke me, they stood and they cheered saying, Allahu Akbar. And I also condemned the recent Iran-Iraq war. I condemned the aggression on the part of Iraq, and I condemned the Arab nationalism that led Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and the Emirates to pour money into Iraq to back Iraq's aggression against Iran. Yes, I am a bold man. I don't care whether I'm in Baghdad, in Beijing, or Moscow, or Washington, D.C. God don't take a rest because his servant leaves Washington. He is God in Baghdad. He's God in Beijing. I don't have any local God that I serve. I serve the Lord of the world. So he's with me wherever I go to stand up and speak the truth as I know it and as I believe it. And when I finished speaking with the ulama, many of the old scholars had tears in their eyes, and they rushed to me and kissed me on my cheek, and from that moment, the tenor of the conference changed. I didn't go to Baghdad to be a rubber stamp for Saddam Hussein or any other leader. I don't go out to condemn the leaders. I love King Fahd, and I love my Muslim brothers and sisters. I love Saudi Arabia, but I love them all. I don't want to see Muslims against Muslims. That hurts deep within me. But I must take the side of right as I know what right is. And the side of right has to be with truth and with the administration of justice. And that's why I stand today, and that's why I appealed today to President Bush. And this is why I feel that after today, after this media time, I will not even speak to the media anymore. I'm through with this. I want you all in the media to know that Farrakhan never depended on the media to make me nothing. For 7 years, I wouldn't speak to the media because I had a work to do. And I did that work. And when I spoke to the media, and the media twisted my words, they were not strong enough to uproot Farrakhan because my roots went deep, because they started in the darkness like all things must germinate and take root in the darkness. Now God is telling me to be quiet because I have given the warning, and my father Elijah Muhammad before me has given the warning. The warning can't be forever. I am a trumpet of God. But when this trumpet ceases, there's 7 more trumpets coming behind.